Hello everyone, this is the Election Buddy training video. I wanted to welcome you to the Elections Committee if you're watching this. So basically, you sign into electionsbuddy.com and you would choose Returning Administrator, and we would use the elections name and title. So this is the landing page. We end up on the dashboard and it shows you all of the previous ballots. We are going to be creating a presidential election ballot, and it should have a title that starts with the year and then describes what it is, similar to the format down here, 2021 PFA officer election. That is the appropriate format we're going to use, and there will be templates that you can follow that Andy has thoughtfully created in Google Drive. So, create new. We're going to choose election. And you begin immediately being walked through the process of creating it. Once again, your vote title. To follow our convention, training ballot. Oops. Make sure you schedule your start and end times with the information from the Secretary Treasurer and or Nicole. And you'll be able to verify these several times to make sure they're correct throughout the process. Is for the details, we will always be leaving these the same. The test or live, I like to build the ballot and test and run it for several other elections committee members for their review. And then once it's finished, then I switch it over to live. And obviously the live one is the one that costs us money. The test will only let you use 5 voters and is free. It will be an election vote. It will always be a remote. It will always be high integrity. Always be a secret ballot. And access will only after voting ends in all cases. Save and continue. Oh. So it prevents you from making silly mistakes. We are going to choose multiple candidates for one vacancy, the president. To keep it simple. Number of candidates will be 2. Now, this is where you input the text that you want in your ballot. And this will be had from a Google Drive file, which I will show you here. Elections policy documents and templates. You have all of our templates and previous votes. You would simply copy and paste from that file. In this case, we have election results. I will choose an election notice instead. Copy and paste that text into your ballot and adjust your dates and times as needed. In our case, we only have one election. We can delete all of those, president, and we could eliminate the options if we so choose. The header and footer is not included, and I'll have to figure out why. We're voting for El Presidente. We want a plurality, and these are our choices of candidates. 2 choices for 1 vacancy, and they get exactly 1 choice. Always allow abstain. That is been requested by our membership. And there's also a template for voter instructions, but the gist of it is we want them to vote and submit. 2-step process. The vote changes to another page whereupon you have to submit. We don't want to add anything to it. Our logo should be the Portland Fire one, which will always be included. We're not going to mess with that. And you can preview your ballot. This is often where I find what mistakes I've made. Logo, title, PFA 43, dates and times, your voting instructions, your candidates, and what positions they're running for. Here's what your ballot will actually look like on the business end of the text or email. and you will have to make a choice here. And then it walks you through the submission process and shows you the confirmation code when it completes. Close the preview. And if everything went well, you can continue to your voter notice. We want both email and SMS notice. We do want to email a receipt. We are the sender. Do not allow proxy voting. We are not doing postal or printed notices. This is the subject title that will be sent out of the email. Vote now, PFA for Local 43, Union President election. This will be the ballot ID number, which goes to each individual person, and your instructions, which should have been, submit after voting, two-step process. And there's your link. And we can preview that. The organization acronym is almost always PFFA. And we almost always use reminders. Typically, the initial announcement, 2 reminders evenly distributed through the voting period, and then a 3rd reminder at 8 a.m. the morning that the election is due to close, usually at 10 a.m., so that we can have results by midday. I'm going to put no reminders on this. We'll put 3 reminders as a matter of process. Continue to voter list. So we will be copying and pasting, specifically from the IAFF. And you will have to use the Control-V command or paste hotkey to import the list from IAFF Smart. So you'll have to go to IAFF Smart and log in, go to their main landing page, and on the left-hand side, under Connect, you will find the roster. Now, the roster is all of our membership and their contact information. This is privileged information that we are trusted to access. Once there, you'll have to select a distribution list. In our case, since it's a union president election, we want all active members voting, so you would have chosen that one. And then once you do, you can choose custom fields, which will eliminate several of your items. For instance, we don't care about their member number, which local they're in, the types, the employers, their dues, etc., or the umpteen other items that are possible to be having this list. We want to narrow it down to first and last name, email address, and SMS. And once you've done that, you export, but I have already done that for the sake of brevity. Here I have their last name, first name, mobile phone, and primary address. And if I remember correctly, I believe they're asking for the ID, email, and SMS. So we will have to change the order of those. There will be a number of manipulations in Excel that you'll need to make this work. And then you can paste it into place. And then delete that column. And now they're in the order I need them to be. Now, there will be errors in this list. There will be duplicates in this list. But this is the list we have and have to work with. And by copying, pasting all of it, we can bring it into the Election Buddy voter list, and it will validate that list and find mistakes for us. This is also why we depend on the membership to give us their appropriate information so that we can contact them. So once I've highlighted the box, Control-V, and it brings in all of your information. Now you'll notice it did not work out accurately, and you'll have to manipulate your Excel spreadsheet to make these fit. Ask for further clarifications from another elections member if needed. We're going to reserve 0 additional voters. We could have 5. I'm going to clear the list for the purposes of my sample vote and put in my information. Now that I've entered my information, I validate the list. everything looks good. It won't say that the first several times you try that. We're going to not use additional voters, although saving some keys for members who may or may not have been registered at the time would be good, and then go to reviewing the ballot. And this is your double check for yourself to make sure you've completed every process. We will now check our notice. Email, SMS, the titles that will be on each. You can change them from here. We have myself and an extra key, and we have one email and one text, which is as simple as it will ever be. Election details. Here's your title, the type, organization, when it starts and stops, how you're going about the voting, the positions you're voting for, how many people it gets sent to, and how many reminders you have. Notice this is the change you can and can't make after the election starts. And we can edit voter information. We can add a voter. We can extend or change the election date, close or cancel the election. But you can't change candidates or positions. And then you're ready to start your vote. Often I save and exit, review things once more. You can start your vote if it's a test, because it will only be sent out to your people in the elections committee. And you can go to the dashboard, and you should be able to see your vote. And there it is, and it is currently running. Thank you for your time, and if you have any further questions, please contact someone else from the elections committee. We would be happy to help you work through it. Good luck.